before the show started, we were talking about Osimhen with Larry on the call, and Osimhen's back in training with the team, full team training now. He was back last week, but doing individual section. But he's returned to full training. Remember, he got injured in that Napoli's demolition of Liverpool at the Stadio Armando Diego Maradona. I mean, against Liverpool 4-1. That game was a shocker to me. But Osimhen missed a penalty in that game, so he got off injured. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to put to you now. Since Osimhen got injured, Napoli on fire this season. I think they are the only unbeaten team in the top 5 leagues across Europe. They are yet to lose a game.
Along with Man City.
Yeah.
Man City.
Yeah, Man City. Yeah. So they had to lose a game in the Italian Serie A this season. Top of the league, top of their Champions League group. I mean, against teams like Ajax, Liverpool, Rangers. Ever since Osimhen got injured, Giovanni Simeone has scored 4 goals. Giacomo Raspadori 6 goes.
You still manage to call his name.
6 goals. And, I mean, players thrive in competitions. Now, Osimhen is gradually getting back. Even in the national team, Terry Murphy is on 8 goals with Lorient in France. They're doing so well. The national team as well has been scoring goals under Pesero. Now, Osimhen has been away. Strikers are stepping up in his absence, stepping up their games. And do you think it's going to get any easier for Osimhen? Let's stick with Napoli now, because he's the number 1 striker for the Super Eagles. But this is Napoli. Anything can happen. So, like I said, 2 strikers on form since his absence. Do you think it's going to play a huge threat to Osimhen's position when he gets to return from his injury?
One of the things that Napoli have always been judged on is the fact that they don't have strength in depth. Luciano Spalletti and the owner, was his name, Aurelio De Laurentiis, have put a team together that is finding that strength in depth in the attack, and then there's also solidity at the back. All of a sudden, even losing some of the players that they lost during the summer, and Koulibaly going to Chelsea, felt like, oh, this is the end of the road. This team will start, going out of the top 4, but then they are there. Osimhen, on the other hand, is a warrior. He's a fighter. There are two parts for Osimhen. Osimhen career patterns down. People say, hey, now family, now they do them, now they cheat the people. That's a conversation that will be on the ground. Osimhen have his ear to the ground. He knows these things. I don't think Osimhen is a kid who doesn't understand all of that. He knows that conversation would be hanging in the air, waiting to be used by as many people who want to use. He don't get respect. He's this one. He even cheat the family, and they don't swear for him. That's one. Giovanni Simeone, the way he plays is something to really look about, because a bit of Vieira there's a bit of Christian Vieri, there's a piece of Filippo Inzaghi and a few other players in the mix, the way he plays. But I think Osimhen offers something different. It's more athletic.
Yeah.
Maybe doesn't, because of the way he moves. Osimhen miss out on a lot of goals because of the way he moves, and he stays too much in between 2 defenders. I've always said that. It stays too much in between 2 defenders. What's the name of that guy that you mentioned? Raspadori, who came in, or the one they called Faradona. He came in and showed that he could use lesser touches on the ball to score a lot of goals, because for a striker, apart from the athleticism, the whole speed and all that, what you really need as a striker is positioning. Erling Haaland is showing us that. Lesser touches than any other player in the Premier League. More goals than any other player in the whole of Europe. Okay, so
that many teams itself.
That even teams, yeah. So you could see that nowadays you don't really need a striker that will touch the ball 50 times to score 1 goal. You just need a player who knows where to position himself and then have a very good relationship with his midfielder who's feeding him. But another thing you look at in Napoli is some things that have not really happened before is happening with Napoli. You've not had a midfielder like a defensive midfielder like Anguissa scoring goals for Napoli before. Now he's scoring goals, okay? And this is a team that have really had some quality players.
More like a breakthrough season for him. So goal scoring.
It's a breakthrough season for Giovanni Simeone. It's a breakthrough season for Raspadori. And for Anguissa, but as Osimhen is still their lead striker, so he's going to come back.
Record signing,
record signing, lead striker. If he comes back, they know that Osimhen is a market proposition. They are not going to put him on the bench, because that means that the value will drop. So they keep giving him games. He plays, he scores more goals. That's 100 million or 100 to 150 million, anything in between. So they won't just put him on the bench. I think it's going to play for the national team as well. The good thing with Osimhen is, the coach will I always say, first cut is the deepest, like in the words of James Ingram. the coach will always go back and say the best game he's ever had is the game he played against Atoma and Principe. And one of the things that made that game good, I've always cried and said that if you pair Osimhen with another striker, he will do well. The reason why Osimhen sometimes kind of like struggle is the fact that he's playing alone. So he goes there for the area ball, he's fighting for the first, the second, and the third ball all by himself. And that doesn't work for a player like Osimhen. But if you put another player who do the knockdown for him, who he also would knock down for, they would be a very good pair to play up front. And that's what Terry Murphy is. Terry Murphy doesn't run into his channels. Terry Murphy doesn't, try to fight for his position. All they need is the passes and the crosses, and they will do well. I think that Terry Murphy's form is giving me joy, knowing fully whether, when Osimhen is not there, there's somebody that will deliver for us. But if the two of them come together, that is a marriage made in heaven and a disaster for the opposition. When Jose Peseiro said he wants to win the Nations Cup, he's really, really serious that he wants to win the Nations Cup. Does he have ammunition up front? Yes, he does. He has Tawa Winnie, he's got this guy, Seridesas in Carmonese, he's got wide men that he can rotate. Lookman is also not doing badly with Atlanta and the rest of them. So his team is coming to the fore. It's just that he needs to get the right players behind Alex Iwobi in midfield, and then decide where Joe Aribo's position is, and then figure out the best back players for him from the right fullback, left fullback, and center back, and then also inspire his goalkeeper's confidence, because there is also that psychological weakness within the goalkeepers that is not good. I think we're in good place. We're still talking about still talking about Osimhen.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, it's more of a blessing right now than a curse. Osimhen knows that, that thing of when Osimhen doesn't play, Napoli are dead, it's no longer there. They are a team.
Yeah.
And yes, it's good to have him as a main man scoring 50 goals for the team, but Osimhen would tell you that he would rather win the Italian Serie A scoring 5 goals or 10 goals than scoring 50 goals and them not winning it.
All right. It's such a we can't wait to see him back in action. Benedict, a few words about Osimhen.
For me, I'm pretty scared for him because but like boss said, market value is the highest priority for Napoli. Although these days record signing, we see them going out of shape. Nicolas Pepe, Harry Maguire, and even in their Hazard in some sense. But because Napoli are not some of those other teams, when Osimhen does come back, he's going to get his place back. But I'm pretty scared because the way these guys are going, to some extent, coach will be like, you score today or tomorrow, if it not be you again, stuff like that. But I'm pretty scared. But immediately he comes out due to that market value, and of course they want to sell him in the nearest future, and he's going to get his place.
Right. I believe Osimhen is one player that thrives in competition, so he is coming back knowing his place is up for grabs. So I think he's going to take his chances. And like I said, he's a record signing. So Napoli are in a good way at the moment. So I think he's going to come in and do what he knows how to do, get on the goals, and keep Napoli firing as the season progresses. Remember, he's on course to become the highest goal scoring Nigerian in the Italian top flights. They take that record from Simi Nwankwo before he got that injury against Liverpool. So I think it's just less than 5 goals away, and we have more than 20 games from now to the end of the season. So yeah, a lot at stake for Osimhen, and I think he's going to achieve that before the end of the season, playing for Napoli in the Serie A.